Across our nation, extremist, so-called leaders demonize, target, and attack immigrants. In Florida, they just passed SB 1718, a law designed to make people live in fear, a law that makes people afraid to even receive care at a hospital because they fear they will be asked about their immigration status and worry they could be separated from their families and be deported. In Texas, we see reports that authorities have pushed children and pregnant women who crossed the Rio Grande back into the river. People who refuse to provide water to other human beings who are in deadly 100-degree heat. Inhumane, outrageous, and un-American. And their blueprint goes beyond attacks on immigrants because, of course, last year we know the United States Supreme Court, the highest court in our land, took a constitutional right that had been recognized from the people of America, from the women of America. And on this issue, let us be clear. One does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree that the government should not be telling her what to do with her body. Today, in states across our nation, extremists also attack the freedom to vote. They pass laws to ban drop boxes, to limit early voting, and to make it illegal to offer food and water to people who are standing in line for hours simply to exercise their civic duty and cast their ballot. In this moment, we see our friends and neighbors being targeted because of who they are and who they love. And we witness the United States Supreme Court strike down affirmative action, give businesses the right to discriminate, and deny student debt relief to millions of Americans. All of this, by the way, when a heartbreaking 1 in 5 Americans has lost a family member to gun violence, and when the #1 cause of death for our children is gun violence, and they simply refuse to pass reasonable gun safety laws to keep our children safe. And while this violence, of course, impacts all communities, we also know it does not do so equally when Latino Americans are twice as likely to be victims of gun homicides. But again, instead of passing reasonable gun safety laws, these extremists suggest teachers should just strap on a gun in their classroom. This on top of an agenda to ban books and to prevent students from learning our true and full history. Can you imagine book bans in this year of our Lord, 2023? And for these extremists, that was not enough. They now push forward revisionist history. They push propaganda. They suggest that enslaved people benefited from slavery as they insult us in an attempt to gaslight us. Well, we will not have it. We will not have it. Unidos, history helps teach us where we come from, to guide us to move forward. So in this moment, let us recall the history of this very organization. Let us remember 2010 in Arizona, when extremists passed SB 1070, the Show Me Your Papers bill. And extremists, so-called leaders like Sheriff Joe Arpaio, rushed to target immigrants and families, to sow fear and spread hate. Well, this organization, with so many others, joined to organize, advocate, and go to court. Together, this organization helped overturn the most discriminatory sections of that law. And I raise that example because I do believe that in the face of dark moments, the history of this organization has helped to shine a light on our path. Like Unidos did in Arizona, I know going forward that this group of leaders will always lead the people of our country to come together, will always stand in refusal to those who would try and divide us, that we will never be distracted by those attempts to divide us, and that we will stay focused on a commitment to stand united. And I do believe then when you know what you stand for, you know what to fight for. So Unidos, let us stand together in the fight to institute national paid family and medical leave, to pass pay equity, affordable child care, stand in the fight to renew the assault weapons ban, to restore the protections of Roe v. Wade, to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the Freedom to Vote Act, and to finally pass immigration reform. Let us stand together, knowing when we fight, we win. May God bless you and God bless America.